Dubbed the race that stops the nation, Melbourne Cup is for sure one of Australia's most prestigious events. Don't worry, even if you don't know anything about racehorseing like me, it's still a great party not to miss out on. The Melbourne Cup Carnival I would rate alongside all the major party events in the world. Mardi Gras, Oktoberfest, you name it. The Melbourne Cup Carnival is spread over 4 major carnival days, and besides a great party atmosphere, fashion is very important. People are encouraged to wear something that expresses their personality. Lace, pleats, and texture fabrics are also welcomed. You will see a lot of white lace on especially the Derby Day. On Melbourne Cup Day, people wear bold and bright colors, with lots of people adding interesting prints to their attire. Things to avoid during the races would be something showing too much skin. Shorts, even very fancy golf shorts, would probably be frowned upon. And for the ladies, wear the most comfortable heels you have, but try to avoid point stilettos because you might get stuck, and I mean literally stuck, in either the grass or the drain grits on the sidewalks. And if you're like me and you get cold easily, you may want to consider bringing something warm to wear at night. The temperature literally fell by 15 degrees on one of the days that I was there, from day to night. And just because the sun sets and the races have ended, the day most definitely has not. The evening festivities kick into high gear. Melbourne lights up with special events and celebrations in the evening, straight through to the early hours of the morning. There are plenty of places holding events and parties. Most of them you may want to buy tickets in advance. These usually include a 3-course meal and some kind of drink special and lots of prizes and fun and entertainment. Well worth a look for something online and pre-book. Alternatively, you can just head downtown and just basically walk into any bar you find. With more than 200,000 people descending on Melbourne for the races, wherever you go in the city is gonna be festive. A quaint little place that you might want to try is a little bar called Ponyfish Island. It is on a little island in a river, but it is really small. If you did want to visit this little place, you probably have to go early to get a spot. It's a really cool little outdoor place. Next to the Ponyfish Island is the South Bank Promenade. Lots of bars and restaurants to choose from here, on a very long strip that runs along the river. And if most of the places have closed and you haven't quite had enough fun yet, you can very easily walk from here over to the casino, which stays open either all night or until much later than any of the other places. That being said, Australia does have rather strict drinking rules and restrictions. Melbourne is not nearly as strict as Sydney, but you may need to finish one drink before you can buy or be allowed to buy another one. So for example, if you wanted to buy a shot and also a gin and tonic chaser, you may have to actually drink the shot before you can buy the gin and tonic, if that makes sense. It's totally separate. It's actually really pointless to argue the fact, so just go with it. The next step is you may be refused drinks and even not allowed into certain establishments if you seem intoxicated or even slightly intoxicated. Trust me, living in Taiwan, this is a very strange experience for me too. But again, it's really pointless to argue. Just go somewhere else and try your luck somewhere else. If downtown Melbourne becomes a bit too much to bear, you can also head to the beach. St Kilda, for example, is a great place with many amazing bars and pubs, and they all have specials and big screens set up to show the races. A place called Captain Baxter usually hosts a Melbourne Cup celebration complete with big screens, cash sweepstakes, and prizes for the best dressed. I haven't been there, but I've heard good things about this venue, which also seems to have a great outdoor space. As you can imagine, this is going to be one of those places that you definitely have to book in advance. They have all their information and their price listing on their website. Another fun idea might be to take a boat cruise on the Yarra River. There are a range of companies that offer boat transfers to the Flemington Racecourse, as well as all-day packages for non-race goers. Board at the Docklands and enjoy a picturesque boat cruise complete with music and entertainment and snacks, lunch, and a selection of beverages on board. All the cruises cater for the races, so there'll be monitors set up on all the boats, plus all the luxuries of a boat party. Great food and snacks, lots of drinks and wine, and most of them have sun decks. So if there's nice weather, you can also go outside, and of course, music and fantastic festive environment on all of these boats. Not to mention the views, lots of picture opportunities. Again, this would probably be something that you might want to book online a while prior to the Melbourne Cup Carnival. I did do a little bit of research online and I found that an all-day event would probably cost you around 299 Australian dollars per person for a day package. And I imagine this is going to include everything, the food and everything else. Besides the evening activities, there are also lots of day things happening. Most of the restaurants and bars in and around the city have specials, not to mention the Flemington Racecourse itself. There are 4 major race days spread over a week, and you may want to do a little bit of research to see which one is best suited to you and if there's anything event in that you would want to join. All of that you'll have to pre-book. This is the last video, part 6 of a series of 6 videos that I did on the Melbourne Cup Carnival. And I call it the beginner's guide to the Melbourne Cup Carnival because it was my first time, and these are all things that I would have wanted to know prior to going. The do's and the don'ts, the fashion, the bedding, and everything else that you would want to know to plan a visit to Melbourne Cup for the races, or even just during the races.